I I feel so alone a lot of the time. Every day, in fact. There's I don't know. There's a lot I don't talk about. There's a lot I don't say. And most times I feel so left out. Does that make sense? Like some days I kind of just I lay at home and I'll do nothing all day and it sucks. And it's weird because there's so much I want to do. There's so much I wish I could do, but I just can't. And it sucks. It hurts. But I don't know how to really talk about it. And I never really know how to talk about how I feel. I hate being judged. I act like I don't care a lot of the time, but I do. And I suck at talking about it, right? I suck at talking about how I feel. So I don't tell anyone, you know? And I feel like that's a lot of people. And I get that, you know? And I feel like people can kind of understand what I'm saying when I say this. But, you know, it's so hard for me to talk about it, you know? And I don't know. It's weird. I've tried talking to other people, and I've tried opening up, but at the end of the day, it feels like it doesn't really matter. You know, it feels like at the end of the day, like my feelings, they're taken into consideration, but a week later, the people will forget. You know, and I used to have therapists. I used to talk to a lot of people about it, but it never really stayed, nor did it really like work out. So I kind of gave up on that. I gave up on trying to express myself, and it's weird because we live in such a world where in today's age, like, it's so normal, right? It's like it's it's accepted to talk about how you feel, but yet I still have this preconceived notion that I'm I'm the guy, I'm a guy. I'm not supposed to talk about how I feel. I'm not supposed to open up about my feelings. And it's such a, I don't know, it's such the juxtaposition as to what we live in today, right? Like, it's so many people are so comfortable opening up, and they're so used to it, right? And it's kind of engraved into their brain that it's okay now, but I don't know. I don't feel the same way, you know? I don't want to be seen different after opening up about how I feel, you know? I don't want to be seen as weak or sad or pathetic, you know? But I know people won't look at me like that, but I still have that feeling, you know? I still have that feeling that if I tell the truth, if I open up how I feel, that it I'll get viewed different. I'll get treated different, and I don't want that, you know? I enjoy the way I am most days, but a lot of the time I don't. I really don't like who I am, and I've tried to change that. I've tried to change who I am, but I just don't think it works. And I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about. I always repeat myself because that's what I've done my whole life. Sorry, I heard a skeleton. I got scared. What am I doing? But I like my whole life like growing up, I was always moving around. I never really stayed in one place. I never really stayed in one school. I was always moving constantly, and I think that's another reason why it's so hard for me to be so comfortable around people. I've never really known, like, I've never had like a sense of self and a sense of like home. which is weird because a lot of people do, and a lot of people grow up differently, and a lot of people grow up with, you know, different lives, you know. But it feels like I'm so left behind in everything, right? In the way I act, in the way I dress, the way literally everything you could possibly think of. I feel like I'm failing, you know. It's weird. It is, and it's not like I'm trying to feel this way. It's not like I want to feel this way. I don't. I don't. All I want to do is I want to fit in. You know, I want to be what everyone expects me to be, but I can't, and I don't think I ever will be. You know, I don't think I'll ever truly fit in the way other people do. And I've accepted that, and I'm okay with that. Like, why act and be the same as everyone else in a world where everyone else is trying to be different? You know, because at the end of the day, if everyone else is trying to be different and you try to be different, you're just the same as everyone else, you know? But I don't know. I struggle a lot. And I wish I could be better. And I wish I could talk more. And I wish I could... there's so many things I wish I could be. You know, I wish I could have $1 million. I wish I could help my mom, like, financially. I wish I could retire, you know? There's so many things I wish I could do that I know I'll never be able to. And like, that's okay, right? Like, my life isn't destined to be some great... I'm not out to cure cancer, and I don't think I ever will be. And I'm not looking for fame and glory like that, but it's just like, I want to have an impact before I die, you know? I don't want to be forgotten. I don't want to die as a nobody. Does that make sense? I don't want people to look at my grave and be like, yeah, this guy, I don't know who this guy was. He didn't do anything. And I think that's what scares me the most, is I feel like I'm failing so hard. I feel like I'm accomplishing nothing. And it's weird, right? Because, like, everyone has a different sense of a different, you know, view of accomplishment. You know, some people's view of accomplishment could just be simply fixing a car, or owning a car, or, you know, changing themselves to be better. You know, that could be their self. You know, that could be what they want in life, but it's not what I want. You know, I want to make an impact, and I whether that be, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know what I want. And I don't know what I want moving forward in life, and I struggle with that. I struggle with self-identity a lot, and it's hard, you know. It's hard finding what I want, because I don't know what I want. And in a world where it feels like everyone knows what they want, and everyone's always telling you should go do this, or you should do that, or you should do this, it's so frustrating. Because I'm trying to find what I want, but I feel like I'm just so tuned out. I feel like people just ignore how you feel and ignore what you want, and just to tell you, yeah, you'll be fine. I was fine when I was your age, or, oh, I'm doing this, you know, like I'm not the same as you, you know. I don't think the same as you. I don't feel the same as you. I'm my own person, but yet I don't feel like I'm a person at all. It's so weird. Just the way I feel. And I feel so out of place, and yet I know I'm not, you know. I know other people feel the same way. And I feel so selfish for feeling like I'm singled out, you know. Like, no, obviously I'm not. I know I'm not. And there's people out there who don't even have homes, who don't have, you know, food to eat, who worry every day if they're going to survive tomorrow, you know. And I feel bad, because I feel so selfish, because I feel like my feelings are more important than theirs, and I know they're not. And I know that. I really do, but at the end of the day, I hurt and I yearn just like everyone else. And I feel like I don't have the right to have an opinion about anything anymore. You know? You'll see on on social media, people struggling, people begging, people literally fighting for their lives, and I'm just sitting here living rent free out of high school, worrying about, oh, I feel sad, you know, I think I'm depressed. Like that's so, it's so selfish and so self-centered. I don't know. I want to matter, you know? I want to matter to someone. I want to matter for something, you know? I want to be someone that you can look up to, that I don't know, I want to change, you know? And I always thought that, you know, one day I would have kids and that would be my purpose, you know? That would be my life, you know? I've always wanted kids and I still do. I want to be a dad so bad. It's all I want, and I feel like that is my purpose. But how do I get there? You know, how do I work towards becoming that? Becoming someone that you can rely on, someone that you can look towards. You know, and I just I don't know, and that's what scares me. Is I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I am doing. I feel like I'm just existing to exist with no purpose. And I understand that you don't need a purpose in life. You know, you don't need a reason to live. You can just live. But that's so, I don't know, that's so foreign to me. I don't understand it, you know? If if I just live to live, why am I living? What purpose do I have living, you know? And I'm not saying this like I'm giving up on life, because I want to try so bad. That's all I want. But I don't know. I feel like time and time again, it's just not gonna work for me. And I've kind of come to terms with that. But obviously, I'm still willing to work on myself and change things. But I don't know. Maybe it isn't in the cards for me, you know? And that's just, it's some people, right? Like, it's not, I'm not trying to be simple-minded or anything. I'm very open-minded. I try to be positive. I try to be the best version of me that I can be. But I don't know. I sometimes feel like it's not working and it's not worth it.